Welcome to what may be the last Dr. Rami's Anatomy. This time, the second maxillary molar. Let's get right to it. Start by adding gray wax dots to simulate the cusp. Check an occlusion to confirm the height you want, and once you do that, add wax from the distobuccal cusp along the facial surface. Once you've done that, add from the mesial buccal cusp onto the facial surface. Continue adding until the surface is roughly filled, and you'll see that by doing this, you start to create the anatomy of the molar. It should look rounded rather than flat on the facial surface. Create your marginal ridges with wax to create the outline of the occlusal for the tooth. Now, let's move on to the palatal aspect. This time, create the outline at the base of the tooth in wax, and then flow that into the interproximal contacts. Afterwards, add wax to each cusp and flow it into the palatal surface. This will do the same thing that we try to do on the facial, where it should be more rounded rather than flat. But on the palatal, you'll also note that there's a palatal groove that's slightly more distal than the midline. You'll see as Dr. Rami continues to wax up this molar. See what I mean? You can see that palatal groove that's slightly distal to the middle of the tooth. Continue adding wax to the central groove of the molar. Again, flow wax from the top of the cusp into the valley of the fossa to roughly get your anatomy. Check in occlusion, and then add wax to the cusp until you're in occlusion. Now we've built it up, let's trim the interproximal aspects using a carver. Continue refining the interproximal aspects with a red handle knife, and then define your occlusal anatomy using a triangular instrument. remove the tooth and add wax to any deficient areas underneath the contact. Trim away any extra material and create your emergence profile. Refine your occlusal anatomy using a carver, and then we're going to check occlusion. If you have to adjust your occlusion, you can. And then, it should look something like this. Now, on to pictures. You're practically at the finish line. Think about how much you've learned since the beginning. You've got this. Keep up the good work.